A lot of co-parents have difficulty communicating these days. And one fun tool that I've seen, which has actually helped some of our clients, is ChatGPT of all things. And so I actually am not opposed to it if you're using it as a filter, right? So maybe you want to use an AI model to help filter some of your communications. If you can explain to the AI tool who you're communicating with, then put your honest response, what you want to put, and then it can sort of process everything and help you create a response that will be less hostile perhaps, or help facilitate the communication with your ex. Give that a try. I think co-parenting apps can be a great idea. It can help with a lot of situations where communication with your ex is difficult, with the other co-parent can be difficult to communicate with them because it keeps a log of the communication. So if the two of you can actually get it in your court order or in your settlement agreement where everybody has to communicate about parenting stuff through the app. It helps maintain boundaries that way. And you can use that as a tool for reimbursements as well. So if you have an agreement where, they're supposed to pay for certain things and you've paid for it and you're looking for a reimbursement for child support, for example, expenses, then you upload those to the app, and the app can sometimes sync to the bank accounts, making the reimbursements go directly into your bank accounts and making the whole process streamlined, and keep an accounting for everything. Most of these apps do charge an annual fee, but it's usually a pretty reasonable fee. And you can even find discounts and things like that too, through certain associations and memberships. And so overall, I think parenting apps can be a really great tool for a lot of families. Having boundaries in your co-parenting relationship is very important. I think you need to realize that you're no longer married to this person, and so now you can create boundaries that maybe you weren't able to create during the marriage relationship. So in a co-parenting relationship, you're going to have different boundaries structured. One of the best things you can do is talk to a counselor or a therapist about what your boundaries are and how to define those boundaries. Then the other thing you should do is stick to those boundaries, right? Don't create the boundaries and then fall back into old habits. Work really hard to maintain those boundaries and enforce what you have asked for. And when you do that, I think the end result is going to be actually your sanity is going to be improved, your mental health will be improved, and you may actually develop a better co-parenting relationship with your ex. So if you have an uncooperative ex, there could be a variety of reasons for that. And so really there's no one size fits all for this kind of thing. Some people turn to parallel parenting, which is a form of parenting where you really don't, you parallel parent, right? You never intersect. When he's got the child, he deals with the child issues on his own and you deal with it on your own, and you really just don't communicate about it. I think most of the experts I've talked to don't like parallel parenting, and that's usually reserved for extreme situations. Most child experts that I've spoken to have told me that, it really is a good idea for you to work on those communication skills with your co-parent. But if that's just really not feasible, then maybe one of the things you can do is work on how you communicate and respond to the co-parent. At the end of the day, you want to figure out something that's going to be in the best interest of your child, that's not going to cause them undue stress from this situation, and really not get them involved in the process. And so I think those are some tips that I would offer for people struggling with a difficult co-parent on the other side. If you have any questions about co-parenting or communicating with a difficult co-parent, please reach out to us, Alexandra Geczi Family Law, at www.familylawdfw.com.